I greet you in Jesus' precious name. It's a wonderful winter's morning, and I've got a message for you, a special one. And this one is straight from the mouth of Jesus Christ. We go to the book of Matthew chapter 5, and I'm reading verse 13. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. Never lose your saltiness. What is food like without salt? Now, I know all the health fanatics, maybe you're going to get hold of me and crucify me here, but I'm just a farmer and I'm telling you about how I like my food. Having Scottish roots, my mother and father both came from Scotland. The national dish in Scotland is porridge. Porridge oats. I love porridge, by the way. But a plate of porridge without any salt is torture. It is bland, it is tasteless, and it is very hard to swallow. I really mean that. Without salt, you can't eat porridge. I refuse to believe that you can. But the same thing with our faith. If our faith is not salty, Jesus says it's worthless, only to be thrown out on the rubbish dump. We've got to be salty. It's like listening to a preacher who's not even believing his own message. He's never met Jesus Christ in a personal way. There's no fire, there's no passion, there's no commitment, and most of all, there's no love for the people. When I preach, God shows me people. He actually shows me, folks. I mean it. In my heart, he speaks to me. He says, look at those people over there. There's a man over there who's desperate. You can see that that man has got a drinking problem. Speak to him so he can understand what he has to do to rectify. There's a broken marriage over there. There's a couple there that are about to go to the divorce courts. Speak about the sacredness of marriage. I remember speaking to a group of farmers down in the Eastern Cape, and lovely people. You know, farmers wear their hearts on their sleeve because farming is a tough job. It's a tough way of life. Don't play the fool when you're preaching to farmers. Just tell them the truth. Be salty. People don't have to like you. The Lord doesn't say that, but they have to respect you. And they'll respect you if you tell them the truth in love. And this one meeting I was speaking at, it was an all-day session. And at halftime, I'd gone to the bathroom, and an old gentleman walked in behind me. A real old, salted farmer. He said to me, son, he says, when you preach, you don't have to sweat so much. In other words, you don't have to try. So I said, sir, I said, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait for the second half. You know what they say, if you don't strike oil within 5 minutes, stop boring. And it's a joke, I know that. But I want to tell you, when I'm sitting in a church and I'm looking around and a preacher is preaching, if people are looking at their watches and they're looking at the ceiling and they're looking around, he's lost it. He's lost it. We've got to get to the point. You've got to be salty. People have got to know that you are serious about what you're doing. Charles Finney said, where there's no tears and there's no amens, there's no revival. Well, on the Mighty Men conferences we've had on this farm, there's been plenty amen. It was so loud they could hear us saying amen in Greytown, 15 kilometers away. The ground was shaking because the men were passionate, and tears, just wiping tears away. To see a grown man weeping and to see his little son looking up starry-eyed, that's my dad, and he loves Jesus. Man, now, folks, I tell you what, that's what keeps me going. Let's be salty from now on. Jesus bless you and goodbye.